Hi, everybody, and welcome to Spa Babies. I'm Dan Illman along with Nicole Russo, and we'll kick off a 50-cent pick four at Saratoga on Friday with race number 2. Let's throw up the field. 5.5 furlongs on the turf. It's an overflow maiden special, and it's one of those maiden auction races for horses that sold or were bought back for $50,000 or less in their most recent sale. The 1A Joe's Dream is entered also eligible. The 2B, 11, and 12 are entered main track only. It's wide open.
It's wide open is one way to put it. What a puzzler this race is, particularly with some rain in the forecast for Friday at Saratoga and the possibility of perhaps this coming off the turf early in the card. So keep an eye on those also eligibles and those main track only horses, even though we're going to focus right now on the horses who have drawn into the main body of the race.
The one happy Baytown wouldn't mind if this race is washed from the turf to the dirt. She made her debut as an early Keeneland 2-year-old and showed pretty good speed in that race before finishing second. She is bred to sprint. She's got a nice stamina base on the bottom of her pedigree as well. And even though she's coming into this race off a layoff, I'm expecting her to be fast.
Absolutely. It looks like she's been working sharply at the Blackwood Training Center in Kentucky. And this is the point I'm going to make with a couple of horses in this race. They are shipping up from Kentucky. Ellis Park is running. You have opportunities around the Midwest circuit. I think if you have a 2-year-old shipping in to Saratoga, where we know these waters are deep for 2-year-old maidens, there has to be a reason.
Nice family. By Run Happy from the family of Shackelford and Lady Joni. Post position 2, actually, let's look at Better Luck, who's breaking from post position 7, program number 2. Interesting that this horse sold for $100,000 as a yearling and then qualifies for this race by selling for $25,000 as a 2-year-old. I love me some Twirlin' Candies. 18% with 2-year-old first-time starters, 14% first turf, and there is a lot of turf sprint ability in this pedigree.
Yeah, you see Morticia and some other very good turf names in that female family. The Twirling Candies really just run on anything, a very versatile stallion. So Better Luck is another one who would handle fine on either the original turf or if this race moves to dirt. Interesting that he sold down as a 2-year-old, as you pointed out. Breezed a furlong in 10 4/5 seconds. Really the thing that can help push you over the top at the 2-year-old sales in terms of the price are your breezes. And that just wasn't quite a flashy time. So that's kind of what I would attribute that to. And this is another one shipping up from a Kentucky base for Joe Sharp.
Luis Saez takes the mount, and he can be aggressive out of the gates. Post position 2, number 3, Glacial Power. This horse has already experienced racing on the turf. That was in a debut at Monmouth Park, and all things considered, he ran quite well because he missed the break. He had to come from far out of it. He passed some horses in the stretch. Really good experience here.
Yeah, definitely has license to improve off that debut. And I really love this international, kind of precocious pedigree here. The stellar Australian 2-year-old Astern over a mare by Kodiak. Kodiak, one of the better 2-year-old sires in Europe, setting a record in that category a couple of years ago.
The number 4 is Stuck on You, breaking from post position 3. Tyler Gaffalione aboard for Wesley Ward. This horse made her debut at Churchill Downs back in May, and she ran okay as the favorite that day. She's been given plenty of time to recover from that effort. She's by competitive edge, who's not great with his first-time turf runners, but there is some turf and distance on the bottom of this pedigree.
Absolutely. And, Ward worked this filly on turf, likely liked what he saw. As we know, he's so good at placing these 2-year-olds. One eligible to improve off a good third on debut at Churchill Downs, whereas we often talk about that main track is often kind to turf-type horses.
Piccata Prince is up next, the number 5. Jose Ortiz aboard for trainer Linda Rice. This is a son of Munnings, who was a $47,000 buyback as a 2-year-old after breezing a furlong in 11 seconds. The second dam was a multiple stakes winning router, just a solid pedigree top and bottom.
Yeah, absolutely, especially on the top. Munnings has almost quietly become one of the nation's elite sires, consistently in the top 10. He just does it all with his offspring and can really add some speed in. So I like this blend of speed and stamina in the pedigree, and high percentage connections here.
The number 6 is Mucha de la Mancha, going out for trainer Gary Contessa, who, of course, blew up the tote board on opening week at Saratoga, winning the Schuylerville with a first-time starter. This one is by Mucho Macho Man and is a half-brother to a juvenile stakes place dirt sprinter named CR, who is precocious. A Mucho Macho Man, only 4% first turf, but there is some sprintability on the bottom.
Absolutely. And you know what? Lots of dirt in the pedigree, but you're going to get some value here from a trainer who's already connected with an upset 2-year-old winner this meet, and with a rider who's on a bit of a streak and moving her mounts up here. And, you know, this is one who merits a look regardless of what surface the race stays on, I think, and would move up if it came over to the dirt.
The number 7 is Captain Bob's B29, the leading rider, Arad Ortiz Jr., the great Todd Pletcher at the helm. A $7,000 weanling by Air Force Blue. The dam was a graded stakes winning turf router. Plenty of quality on the bottom of this pedigree. Interesting that Todd's had this one sort of scuttled away at Monmouth.
Yeah, and you know, that's the first thing that jumped out on me at me about this horse are some solid works at Monmouth, where Todd Pletcher keeps his string in the summer. So if this one is coming north to Saratoga and joining sort of the A team, so to speak, to make his debut, that is making me sit up and take notice. Air Force Blue, a champion European 2-year-old himself by Warfront.
Our final 3 entrants have experience, and they're all switching surfaces to turf, weather permitting. The number 8 is Uncle Eddie, a $40,000 2-year-old trained by Contessa. Javier Castellano takes them out. Lots of class and distance on the bottom of this pedigree. The dam half to Bullard's Alley was a really nice, long-winded Grade 1 stakes winner up in Canada. This one is by Nyquist. They're very good on turf and synthetic, and Uncle Eddie has plenty of speed.
Absolutely, and has showed speed in his 2 starts to date, ran a creditable third in both of those starts while improving his buyer first time to second time out. Probably wants more ground, I would think, but I like Nyquist, a 2-year-old champion, a good 2-year-old sire on top of this distance-oriented pedigree to kind of sharpen him up a little and add some precocity.
The number 9 is Honest Al, Manny Franco aboard for Graham Motion, and Graham usually doesn't have him cranked up all the way first time out, so the fact that this one ran an even third, I think, is a good sign and a harbinger of things to come. He's by Always Dreaming, still seeking that first turf winner, but the dam was quick. She was a juvenile, multiple stakes winning sprinter.
Yeah, the dirt type pedigree for sure, but Graham Motion, you know, we've always said he knows what he's doing, placing these horses, and certainly there's no shortage of dirt abilities. So he must, you know what he's doing, placing this horse. Definitely eligible to improve on a nice steady day.
And the final horse entered in the body of the race is the 10 Real Sensation. This is a New York bred by first crop sire Preservationist. What can we expect from the Preservationist progeny?
Well, you know, Preservationist, I think, is very interesting because he is more remembered as a horse who improved as an older horse, who had the stamina to win races like the Woodward. But that being said, he was a very quick horse for being such a big horse. He threw up some big numbers running 6 furlongs earlier in his career before he really hit his stride. And Jimmy Jerkins said that he was one of the most naturally fast and naturally talented horses he ever handled, along with Quality Road, and we certainly know what Quality Road turned into. Preservationist is off the mark with a couple of nice 2-year-olds already, and I would expect them to show some speed, but I would definitely expect them to continue to improve.
The 1A is entered also eligible to be 11 and 12 main track only, so it's time to take a look at our top picks, and don't adjust your sets. We do have, I believe, 8 different picks. It's that wide open, which means the number 1 can't lose, Nicole.
Absolutely. It's one of the few uncovered here. So, I mean, that being said, this race is wide open. You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts. I definitely noticed Captain Bob's 29 coming up from Monmouth to Saratoga for Todd Pletcher, getting called up from the B team, so to speak. And Gary Contessa, as we said, already connecting with some 2-year-olds at that meet. So I'll use his as well. But I like what you're thinking too, as well, Dan, with better luck here.
Big fan of the twirling candies. Joe Sharp, I believe, already has a 2-year-old winner this meet. I'm hoping for better luck to show a little bit of speed out of there, and can't go wrong with a Wesley Ward filly against the boys. I think Stuck on You is going to handle the turf just fine. What a fun race to kick off a 50-cent pick 4 at the Spa on Friday. Nicole's going 7-3-6-8. I'm going 2-4-9-5.